Welcome to the Wrap-Up, a VR live stream focused on keeping you up to date with the adoption of universal profiles and growth of the new creative economy. Join us as we uncover the fusion of technology, artistry, and innovation that's redefining how we create, share, and experience in this digital age. It's time to wrap it up. Welcome back once again to the Wrap-Up. Today's December 8th, 2023. And before we dive into today's show, take a moment to click that like button and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. It helps a ton and ensures that you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Also, be sure to find us on Common Ground in the MetaHeads and the KEEZ communities, because Common Ground is the Web3 community platform that we have all been waiting for. Alts, how's it?
ETH, my guy. Going good. Just kind of on the chill vibes today. Not a ton going on in the greater ecosystem. As things kind of wind down towards the end of the year. But yeah, vibing out. Hope everyone's day is going great so far.
Yeah, I hope everyone's day is going great. My day is just going fantastic. Started nice and early. Hey, Turtle, let's go. Things are, I think, going okay. It was a quiet week news-wise, so we did our best to put together a show that I think speaks to our sentiment at the moment, right?
Yeah. It's always good to kind of reflect, on kind of how the community's feeling and just the greater, just vibes and kind of, always want to reorient yourself and manage your expectations, moving forward.
Sure. All right. I know you're all like, will you just start the show already? So before we do that, let's hear from our friends and sponsors over at LEEQUID. LEEQUID, a liquid staking solution tailored for the LUKSO blockchain, enables low-friction staking of LYX tokens redeemable for SLYX tokens on a one-to-one basis. Its custom liquidity pool allows for quick staking changes, avoiding traditional network delays. Supported by LUKSO advisors and launched post-consensus audit in October of 23, LEEQUID ensures a secure and user-friendly staking experience. Be sure to follow LEEQUID on Twitter for opportunities to earn passive rewards while participating in the overall security of the LUKSO network. Ooh, I like that new read. It's almost like I did it.
Yeah, sexy voice that guy's got.
Go figure. I don't know who that guy is. All right, top story today. Are you aligned, friends? Now, this could go in a lot of different directions, so let's tell you exactly what we're thinking here. First, Common Ground. We've spoken of Common Ground before. You can see Common Ground down below in the ticker, right? Common Ground is announcing that they're going to have the LUKSO Ecosystem launch on Common Ground next week with a very special event. What's that special event? Well, they told us, Alts, it is the
Hackathon judging.
That's right, Hackathon Award Show. We're going to have the Hackathon judges on there, and that's where they're going to tell us who did the coolest stuff during the build-up number 2. So that leads me to ask you all right now, if you're listening, if you're not on Common Ground, are you aligned? Are you part of this community that's working together to bootstrap the new creative economy and Web3 native ecosystems? Huh? That's a question I have for you.
That's a very good question. It's like, have you made a universal profile, and have you connected that universal profile to Common Ground? When you do, you're going to feel great.
We're going streaky!
Right? You're going to be up in Common Ground, linking universal profile, just kind of laying the groundwork for this next level of utility. So yeah, make sure you go sign up for that LUKSO Hackathon, judgment event. It's like a 3-day event. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And it's like, what better way to kind of get a sense of the stuff that's getting built on this change and kind of utilizing this these LSPs. I can't wait to kind of hear what the judges thought of those and select the winners, and also hear their perspectives on how these things could evolve moving forward. So yeah, definitely make sure you go get signed up for a Common Ground. And yeah, we have some plans on our own with MetaHeads and KEEZ, and we're going to be doing some really cool stuff in the Common Ground ecosystem. So make sure you don't miss out on that.
Yeah. Todd said, thanks for the education. I appreciate that, Todd, because that's all we're really trying to do is just educate people as to where the ecosystem is right now and the direction that we think it's moving, because it's all our perspective, right? This is all coming from our perspective. If you talk to someone else, it might have a very different perspective that would be unique to them or the group of people that they interact with.
That being said, this is not perspective advice. I mean, it
No,
is. It
not
is. We cannot be held liable on this one.
no, not at all. Okay, before we move to the next tweet, I want to say this. The question here again in our top story segment, are you aligned? There are a shade over 2,200 profiles right now that have been created. Alts. There are way more token holders than that in this ecosystem. So that means some of you are really slacking on doing the thing that you needed to do, which is create a profile. How can you be in Luxo and not have created a universal profile at this point? That is an honest question I have for you. So, like, what are you? Are you the least interesting participant in the ecosystem, as Fabian would call you? You're just a trader looking to get a quick pump and dump and get out? Because if you are, lame, LAME, lame. I'm going to call it. I don't care. At me on Twitter. We'll have a discussion about it.
I mean, it's hard to argue that, right? Like, if you're here and you've been waiting for these things, like what better? I mean, obviously there's no amazing use cases yet, but just the concept of creating one and getting yourself prepared and it's very simple too, right? That's kind of the whole ethos of this thing is the team is making it as easy as possible to do this process. Like they're literally paying your gas for you. You don't have to worry about seed phrases. You can just go make the thing and they're going to pay gas for you to make 3 of them, right? So you can even have your first one just as an experiment. It's definitely why not at this stage?
Yeah, no fair weather fans around here, guys. We're going to call you out. If you are fake pink, then it is what it is. You still have time to change and become real pink, Luxo fam. But the fact of the matter is, like, if we're bellwethers for sentiment right now, like that's kind of what it is in the community. We have the people who are aligned, right? If you're aligned, you're in. And we have the people who might be just kind of standing on the side of the pool wondering whether or not they want to jump in, to use a metaphor. Well, I'm telling you, if you don't move quick, I'm going to push your ass in. So that's how it goes.
Target neutralized.
Yeah, that's that's astute. I bet it's one of those things too. Like, do yourself a favor, like because there's certain that I understand a trader, they might just see a ticker and purchase the token and then just kind of just sit back and be like, why win pump? Like, but if you really actually like dig in and learn about these standards, and like we said, when you go through the process of making a universal profile, it really starts to kind of hit home and sit in with like the greater change that this ecosystem is going to make, right? Like UX is finally changing, and why not check it out, right? It's gonna make you feel better about your position, and maybe you probably want to increase it once you realize the true stuff at stake here.
Yeah, to quote my man Boo Botcher, don't talk about it, be about it, right?
Shout out Boo on that one, yeah. Right. But let's head into the next tweet. Actually, is just more of this actual use case, right? So with Common Ground, you can log in with your universal profile, right? More things will be coming online to actually have like reputation systems and NFTs and token gating and all these other elements will just evolve over time. But even now, you can already log in with your universal profile. We were actually playing in virtual reality poker, and we were streaming through our universal profile into Common Ground while logged in. Like, if that doesn't, like I said, these are the things when you're doing it, when you're in VR and you're like, okay, I've got my menu here. I can buy my little, like I think that's Mint's there on the left. You can see he's got like a Quest hat. Like you can go buy the hat and it puts it on your avatar, right? Or you can buy little props and things to use in game. You need to buy more tokens. But like, okay, that's fun, in VR. And obviously it's not on chain, but the implications are there because you can be logged in with the universal profile in VR. And imagine with these standards, you don't have to ever leave the app. So it's like you'll be able to do all of these things in game while earning reputation and stream. Like it's just like it's crazy. Like the path that we're on to change the UX is going to open up so much more stuff. But this was such a great kind of, scratching the surface event here.
Yeah. Right now, the universal profile is really just authenticating who's behind the profile, right? Who's behind the user. It will be used for so much more in the context of Common Ground, like Alts kind of intimated, whether it be token gating of chats or issuing of tokens natively in the platform. There's a lot of interesting things that could be done here. The reason we throw this up is, hey, you can either, again, talk about it or be about it. So we only have 2,000 universal profiles. I know I'm rounding the number down. It'd be great if we had
2257.
Yeah, 2257. It'd be great if we had 10,000 profiles that were all willing to get into Common Ground and start to build out a big ecosystem there where all the people who, again, say they're about the new creative economy or really are interested in improving blockchain UX or believe that this could be a game changer, actually trying to go out there and be a change maker. Not everybody needs to go and become a avatar that's willing to talk on a podcast, right? That's what Alt and I do. But you could very easily just create a Common Ground account and just talk in the chats and participate in the things that are going on. And now you're helping bootstrap this ecosystem through using the ecosystem, because just holding the token at the end of the day is probably not enough. I'm sorry. I mean, if that hurts your feelings, that's just the fact of the matter.
Well, it's all network effect based, right? So it's like you need to have every bit of activity, right? If you're just a holder just sitting there, like if you actually become active, you're actually giving extra value to the tokens that you hold, right? You become a participant, and then devs see that, right? They see there's activity going and they see ways to capitalize on that. And then that attracts more devs and more projects. And it's just kind of, it's a snowball, right? So it's like and it seems like an inevitable snowball anyways, just because the tech is so transformative, but it's like we can get the ball rolling quicker, right? If we're more active.
Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So I guess, let's transition from here on Common Ground to, again, in this conversation of, are you aligned? Let's pull up a tweet from Louis. Louis, who is the head of talent at Luxo, on the stage at the next Block Expo. And what's Louis giving a talk in? Well, he's giving a talk about what the actual crypto landscape looks like and what's wrong with the UX, and then how universal profiles is going to be a solution for that. Now you could say, yeah, how, well, I don't understand. Where does this fit into alignment? Well, that really, I think, alts is going to be apparent with the next tweet, but let's not go there yet, Rob. Right? Let's not go there yet. In
Yeah, no.
talking to Louis, you're going to find when you talk to this man and he's out and he's interacting with a lot of different people, Louis believes in the overall mission that this is going to change the way that people interact with the internet. This is fundamentally going to alter the way that we interact with blockchain for the better, for the user, where the user benefits at the end of the day. And who's the user? You, if you're brave enough to create a universal profile and use things like Common Ground, right? And that's what we're talking about. Are you aligned? We can have people like Louis who are out there spreading the message to every developer in the space, but when things come online, if you're not brave enough to get out there and use it and be a pioneer, then man, we're not aligned together. So you've got someone here who's on the ground, boots on the ground, selling this to developers, selling this to the people in the know. And you as a token holder aren't willing to back that up through usership. Shame on you. Right?
Wow. Wow. Well said. I mean, and Louis doing he is doing such great work too. Like when you see him work in these events and these relationships, yeah, which it brings us into our next tweet from John. Like he says, it's only at Luxo that you're going to find a recruiter that's able to explain and talk in these technical details about the project, the vision, and most importantly, the tech and the stack. So yeah, kudos to Louis, man. You've put in a lot of hard work, kind of establishing yourself as a just straight beast mode recruiter, and we appreciate all the hard work you do. So hopefully we can help back you up as a community by doing our part as well.
Yeah, it's special. It's special that people are willing to come together to try to do something for the greater good. Now, obviously, in the case, this is a business, so there are financial motivations here, but you can go and spend your time working for any business, right? And earn money. Why be in Luxo? Why be in Pink? Why do this mission together? Well, it's because we believe in a better future, right? So you can ask yourself, are you aligned with that better future or not? And if you're not, then you're taking a seat at the table that someone else probably could fill, right? And that's just how it goes. So again, this is me getting on my soapbox, right? And my beard starts waggling and I've got things to say, but that's true. Like it is the question of, are you aligned? And if anyone listens to this, you should be asking yourself that question. And if you go out and you start interacting in communities, you should be asking others, are you aligned with the greater mission that you are a change maker here and that we are changing the world? So let's bring up that next slide, Rob. Fabian posted, here's an universal profile team gathering. All those people in that room are literally working their ass off to provide you the opportunity to do the cool things like join Common Ground. with a universal profile, right? They are setting the stage, right? It's not just names that you never have to look at. These are real faces, real humans, real people, right, Alts?
Yeah, exactly. This is the face of the revolution, right? Like, and that's kind of what we're talking about here is if you're aligned, like, don't you want to be a part of this revolution, right? Like, you don't want to tell the story of like, well, yeah, I was chilling in my crib and I was looking out the window, and I saw some revoluting going on, and that's how I participate. No, you want to be out there on on the ground, like spear in hand, charging. You know what I mean? So like, and this is one thing that people are kind of already underestimating, and that's kind of what one of the greater parts of this ecosystem is being able to build on-chain reputation and identity through these new standards. But like it's already started, right? These early universal profiles will already be able recognized as OG profiles because they were created, early on. And as soon as these other things roll out, this activity is going to start building out reputation. So like, why sleep on that? You know what I mean? You want to take advantage of that stuff.
Yeah, you could purchase any token. Oh, sorry, back up. You said revoluting, and I'm
Yeah.
dying. That one cracked me up. You see those people out there just revoluting. Is that a word? I don't even know.
I just made it up, but now it's the word.
um, so yeah, like you can go and you can buy any token. Lord knows there are more shit coins than anybody could probably comprehend in a short amount of time. Revoluting. I love that. So you could buy all kinds of shit coins. There's no shortage of tokens that you could get involved in, but you've chosen to be in the Lux ecosystem. So if you're in the Lux ecosystem, you might as well participate to the full extent of what is here. And at the risk of being redundant, make a goddamn universal profile and go to Common Ground. I don't even understand what the delay is. And like, why would you even wait? Make a universal profile so you're ready to use universal page when it's ready. So you can start doing things. Like, what the hell are you doing? If you're just holding the tokens, again, you are the least interesting person in the entire ecosystem. Truly. Doesn't matter how long you've been here, whether you've been here since the reversible ICO or you joined yesterday, you are uninteresting, period.
But it's like it's such a missed opportunity too. It's like saying, "Well, I discovered the internet back in the late '80s, but I didn't actually do anything until 2010."
But I didn't
Like, what?
use it.
I didn't use it, but I knew about
I bought a computer, I put it in a box, I just looked at it.
it. It's like, yeah, I mean, you literally have a chance. Like, you've already won just by discovering this technology before everybody else. So like, there's just such a missed opportunity if you don't, if you don't start to utilize it before everybody else gets here.
Yeah. Are you aligned? Simple question. Are you aligned? Are you aligned with the greater goal that this community is pushing for? Are you aligned with the greater goal that the team is developing for? Are you aligned with a better future for all? If you are, then act like it, right? Act like it. Do the things that you need to do, interact, create a vibrant community. If you are not aligned, then hey, fair enough. That's fine. You can make any decision you want. Go find a community that you are aligned with and participate there because you're cheating yourself. That's all you're doing.
Well said, Eth. Well, let's put a cap on that for now. We'll move into the next section. If you look at the team there, they're actually kind of all looking a bit up and to the right, it seems.
Yes, up and to the right. And up and to the right, we provide a weekly review of the markets from a LUKSO perspective. We present a range of prices from the lowest to the highest, and we give the prevailing price at the time of the broadcast. Moreover, we provide a summary of the market capitalization comparing an existing market framework with our market cap goal, where we aim for a humble top 100. And then we give you the associated price point. And keep in mind, what you hear in this podcast is just our opinion and not professional financial advice. We're not experts. If you need specific advice, please ask someone who's a professional in that area. Listen at your own risk and always double check before making decisions based upon what we talk about. If you look at that chart over the entire 7-day time frame, we have gone up and to the right, but we've taken a little bit of a meandering path there, Holtz.
We're taking the scenic route. Yeah.
Oh, good God. You can't, what goes up fast has to come down, right? So 7-day low over the last 7 days of $7.14, and we got a high of $8.07. You can see that we started to get a little bit of volume here at some points, which is a good thing. Just so we're all aware, if we wanted to be in the top 100 today, we would need a price point of $15.42 when we did the math, right, Alts?
Yeah, so that's about a double up from here, to get in that top 100. Which I mean, that's kind of our next, our next big milestone to eye on the token price side of things, because for one, it's just a nice target, right? And then it opens up a lot of eyes because there's so many people that are researching tokens that just never go past that top 100 page. So yeah, it'll be really nice to get on a bunch of radars because it's just a matter of time until we do, but like it'll be great because then people will really start digging in and trying to show up. And then that's where we kind of as a community can really take the lead, spreading the good word about what this technology is about, what it can do, and also the community and our values and our culture and stuff. We get to kind of pink pill them as they come in. It'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, as he said, this is never financial advice. We're not professionals. I am considering, maybe I'll sign up for one of those TikTok courses, to become a professional, so I can actually put that up, when we're talking about price.
Good. Do that. Absolutely. Because that's where I get all of my financial advice when it comes to the cryptocurrency ecosystem. I go to TikTok and find some 20-year-old who is going to tell me how to crack the code against algorithmic trading.
Well, you're talking about the token. We have a bit of a liquidity crisis. We talked about the liquidity is like we're starting to get some volume, right? But most people are still clamoring for that win tier one. So it'll be really interesting and awesome when we finally kind of cross that threshold. Because it's like we're still in this volatile range, and there's really no way out of it until you get some solid liquidity. So you just kind of have to set your expectations, to just buckle up. It's going to be bumpy, I guess.
Yeah, this is a stamp that I smash on people's foreheads when they're like, "How do I buy Luxo?" Bam! No exchanges. Um, no, seriously, it's not that dire. Actually, we've started to see more exchanges recently, and Gate.io, who had been listing the Lux E token, has just moved the token migration, or just actually facilitated the token migration to Lux on mainnet. That's great. That's going to bring more liquidity to the Lux token. And the more liquidity we get, the less volatility we'll get off small movements, like small volumes. That's the most important thing to keep in mind. The token is volatile right now off very small volumes that are trading because the liquidity is so little.
Yeah, it is very little. But we're opening up that faucet. We got a little drip on the liquidity there. So, hopefully that continues to just add, and every little bit will add it to the greater, liquidity pool, right? And like I said, it is very volatile now because there's not a lot of tokens in circulation out there. It's even just in general, like there's not a lot of tokens, right? We've only got 42 mil on the whole roadmap, right? So like Ethereum's like currently like 121 million or 120 million plus. Like we have a much smaller pool and a bunch of ardent supporters that don't want to trade these things, because they see the value long term. So yeah, that definitely creates a bit of a liquidity crunch, but it works both ways too, right? It doesn't take much to move it up or down, in that regard.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, but it does take some effort. So if you know the guy holding the wrench there on the previous graphic with the faucet, put a call into him, tell him to twist a little bit harder because we're not getting enough.
Tell them we're thirsty. We're thirsty. We're parched.
We are parched. All right, let's take us over to the network update because you made a nice little point about token supply. Like Alts mentioned, um, we've got a whole bunch of these Lux tokens that are just not in supply. Over 3.3 million of them are actually staked and locked up so they can't move around anyway, which is actually really neat. I know we quoted a number last week of about 12% of supply that had been locked up in staking contracts. So that's actually pretty cool. You can see the total number of validators up over 104,000, and current APR is about 8.5%. Checking over into Lux.tool, sponsored by the development of Vlad Laconis with this public good, you can see if you want to enter the validator queue because you're a home staker, you could be on in under a minute and generating rewards. Why are you waiting? No, seriously, I know why you're waiting, because you're waiting for the DApp nodes to get shipped out that you've purchased. Great choice to go with that great product. It's really going to simplify what you are doing. graphical user interface to abstract away a lot of the terminal commands you'd have to run. If you do have a NUC at your house or some other machine, you can always download DAppNode, the software, onto it and run that. There is some expertise in the community. So, yeah, I'm getting a frog in my throat. Alts, you're gonna
No,
have to
you're
pick this
good.
up for a second.
Sure. The APR still being at 8.5, that's solid. And that's great. And as those DApp nodes go out, which I do believe, I think they have a few more left. I think someone told me they ordered one like yesterday, the day before, and there were still like 7 left. So there's still a few units left. And keep in mind, those are like custom bespoke ones that have the LUKSO graphics on them, and they come with, I believe it was 4 validators, so like 128 licks.
That's correct.
Which is, that's about half the price. So that's even at this price for licks. So pretty good investment. And as more staking options come online, yeah, more and more of those tokens are going to get locked up.
Yeah, I just got a frog in my throat here. So we always mention the total burned, given that the ups will soon be using things like universal page. That number, as we always allude to, will continue to increase. That is a positive thing if you care about the overall inflation on the network. But Alts alluded to the fact that more staking options will be available. If you are trying to get into LEEQUID, you know that LEEQUID as a liquid staking solution has been locked down and you haven't been able to join. This brings us to our next tweet. Because LEEQUID is being responsible and not wanting to take more than 33% of the network, LEEQUID has closed down their front end and does not allow you to get in. But LEEQUID here has released an announcement detailing kind of how they're thinking about their 2024 roadmap, with a transition to a DAO, to decentralized governance over the protocol, and then actually onboarding node operators, which would help decentralize their operation further and then would help them reopen their staking service. The guys at LEEQUID are great guys, true pros. Love to see this.
Yeah, I love to see this roadmap for next year. Making things more decentralized, of course, is amazing, and having that transition into some decentralized governance is really interesting. And of course, the node operating, onboarding more, more and more users, and being able to reopen that staking, which everyone's so hungry for, because they have these tokens they've been holding for a long time. They want to put them to work, and the platform is so easy to use. So yeah, I know that'll be great to be able to onboard more people throughout that process.
I know you said the best part of your day is when you take and you actually compound your rewards. That is also the best part of my day. I try to keep my eye on when the reward sweeps are, and then tuck them back in there.
Sitting there waiting. Yeah, it's a fun process. Just for what it means, it's so easy to do.
Yeah, really easy to do. Very intuitive interface. They did a nice job putting this together. And like I said, the LEEQUID guys are real pros. From Carlos, the CEO, to Samuel, the CTO, to Antonio, their lead researcher, Juan, backend developer. They're good guys. They work really, really hard. I can't speak highly enough about that team.
Yeah, they are an amazing team, and what they've already created, with the simplicity of that site and the integration and everything, it's just, yeah, they've got form and function nailed down. So it's really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of form and function, let's check out some Pinkest tweets.
I was waiting for the Pinkest song, the bing, 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 but you didn't have it for me. Oh, well.
Yeah, I wasn't dancing today, so I took a drink.
All right. All right. First Pinkest tweet we have today is that obviously I'm gonna guess AI driven art there. Nice little car. Love the overhead view. Don't know Terrell Jones, but you did it right this time, friend.
Yeah, Terrell did. I've been following him for a while. He's been doing some dope art for a really long time. But yeah, this one's definitely got those LUKSO vibes. So we love to see that. Keep those coming, Terrell. Next up, we got one from Wissam. True story. He says, "You sell, you lose." It's hard to argue that one. Not gonna lie.
Oh man, you and I both caught a frog at the same time. You sell, you lose. I like that. I got really distracted at the bottom. I do need some water again, turtle. I've got water here. I just can't seem to get it away. You sell, you lose. I got really confused because you turned into two O's and Captain Literal, the Ethelordian, just like really struggled with that one. I was like, you oh you.
You. I just read it as is normal. Like it's funny those experiments, right, where you can read stuff that's completely misspelled just because your brain fills in the gaps.
Yeah. Yeah. My brain didn't do that. My brain instead just completely
It
focused on the
created
two
new
O's.
gaps.
Yeah. I do appreciate that Wissam has the up in the name. Again, if you are a Luxo supporter and you don't have up in your Twitter handle, are you even in Luxo? I'm
Good
just going to keep
question, Ian.
asking those questions.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right,
good question.
moving on. We got the pink snowman from our man Mince, and he's telling you be early. He's actually commanding you to be early. Love the vibe on this snowman.
Yeah, this one's great. I love it. Snowing those Luxo hexagons. Very, very cool. But yeah, be early, don't be late.
Hmm.
Next up, we got one from Badass Kawhi, who is always early with a great vibe there. They got decked out head to toe in pink drip with the clone with the pink hair and the pink lollipop. Gotta love it.
Baffles me that more people aren't going for this really well put together AR filter that can be used in this type of setting. You know, you know, I'll tell you the AR filters I don't like also the ones that are obviously not sized appropriately for the model's head. Like
Right.
I see sorry, I'm sorry clones from triggering you. Like if you have an AR filter that is too small for your body, not cool. If you make it a little larger, it fits. It fits in almost all settings. So that's ETH's opinion, I know.
I
But
mean, I'm gonna go with that. I agree with that. If I can see the edge of your face around your filter, probably increase it.
yeah, if you look like the head shrinker in Beetlejuice, then we've got a
Unless
problem
that
with
is the
scaling.
filter, if you're going for that, then make it smaller.
Then make it even smaller. Sure. All right, everyone, I'm sure is really wondering who's the winner of the Pinkest Tweet this week, and it is Lionel Messi. Who would have thunk it? Look at this guy wearing pink, Inter Miami. There's a reason why they did it. Obviously, huge Luxo fans. So be
For
sure to
sure.
thank Lionel Messi for his contributions to the Luxo ecosystem, and we'll be sure to ping him in the tweet to let him know that he won the Pinkest Tweet.
Yeah, congrats, Messi. Make sure to send us your universal profile address so we can get you this trophy.
Yes, I'm sure that that trophy will be represented with all of your other trophies. You probably put that right in the middle, right?
Yeah,
You
I
vote
think
for
it
what
goes
you
right in
want.
the middle. That's a great spot for it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Well, let's
All
check
right.
out some more famous stuff with Fame. All right, we got one here from the Hub. This says the Hub's going to bring next level of experiences to Luxo. Get ready for Luxo citizens. Very interesting. Identity and interoperability at your fingertips. That says it's dropping on the 20th. Oh, wait. Actually, I don't know. Oh, the release date. I don't know when.
It was
I think
released
I think
actually
that's a
in
typo. Yeah, I think it's
November of this year, or what? Maybe they just missed the
that's a
2.
typo. Yeah, actually, I just realized that because I'd seen the other tweet. It said 12/22. So yeah, so I think it's going to be in 2 weeks. It'll be dropping. But it says the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything we know is 42. So yeah, so this is they're going to be basically. Um, they said they chose VRM and Luxo for a myriad of reasons to build the next generation of interoperable avatars, characters, and vehicles. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're building. Those avatars look very sweet. And how they're going to utilize, universal profiles and at these LSPs for the, kind of this merging of metaverses, right?
They certainly hit the buzzword interoperable. Now it's a matter of what are you delivering that is interoperable, and then I'll make judgment. If it's truly an ecosystem where we're going to have avatars that can move across multiple worlds, right? Characters that move across multiple worlds, vehicles that move across multiple worlds. Be great if we saw this like some type of integration with other open metaverses like Canvas Land or other things that are built. Now that's true interoperability, but at the beginning, I can't hope for, it, we have to build the rocket before we can fly to the stars. So I'm going to be happy that we're just moving in this direction right now. I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be fun to see how it plays out and what they put out.
Mhm.
Well, so that actually leads us into another release. We got one from Boys Club World. their recent zine went live, and it was powered by Luxo. They had a drop out in Miami, and they did a really interesting kind of use case example on this, where they made the physicals first, and they put them out at the event, and then in order to link it and authenticate it on chain, you had to take the magazine and scan a QR code, which took you to the site, which lets you make a universal profile, and I think you linked that to an email address. So there was no gas involved. There was no creating seed phrases or having to store anything. It was just super simple. I think it's a bit more steps to it. They did it on purpose to kind of make it a bit more rare that way. So not just anyone could just go snag one. It's a really nice use case example. And yeah, it just kind of shows you some of the ways that you can use these, this full account abstraction, at your leisure.
Yeah, it's an experiment, like we would say. Like, these are primitives, these are early offerings in this ecosystem. It's nice to see somebody playing with it because we need some primitives, we need some use cases, some things to point to. Um, I'll be interested to hear more from Sage from KEEZ, who is actually down there on scene, like in the venue. I know he grabbed a couple because Beef Banks was really interested in getting hold of the physical. I like that you mentioned that it was physical first and then you have to get the digital, because there's a lot of analog there, especially if you're a follower in the clone ecosystem of that like web 2.5 model, where we're going to go and you're going to get a physical, and that physical can then redeem a digital instead of going the other way around. You get a digital and then you're going to forge a physical at some future point. Interesting way to meet people where they're at and try to bring them into the ecosystem versus try to get people already in the ecosystem to get a physical and then FOMO people back into the digital side. Like, that doesn't seem to
Right.
work as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think because it's like when you start digital, get them to forge a physical, and then try to get them to go back and link it. Like most people probably aren't going to do that.
Yeah, most people. What I found was really interesting. There was a tweet from Tusi .lux that says, "I see embrace the chain," and he quote tweeting an A16Z crypto Twitter post that says they spotted the ad for a book from A16Z from Chris Dixon right there inside the zine. If you look to the left, though, on the turn back page, that looks to me like embrace the chain from Luxo. That's really interesting because anybody now, like from A16Z, who is looking at, again, A16Z is Andreessen Horowitz, BC. Let's think of it that way, Silicon Valley, BC. A16Z, anybody who's looking at that ad, they want to check that thing out, they're going to get punched in the face by that pink branding. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but I'll take it. I like that. I like people being aware of Luxo. What I also thought was really interesting is the next tweet that we have is actually from A16Z, and they had just a few things we're excited for in crypto in 2024, and they specked out a number of them. One of them was resetting the UX of the future for blockchain. That's interesting. And the other thing they said is NFTs become ubiquitous brand assets. Luxo is positioned to hit both of those kind of benchmark um, targets, that's not the right word, themes in 2024. The tech stack on Luxo is literally positioned to become, I think, a fundamental piece of resetting the UX of for blockchain UX in the future. And then obviously the work that Marjorie's doing and the business development team is doing to onboard brands and showcase the fact that NFTs can become, like we said, these ubiquitous assets that are showcasing really the um, merging worlds ethos, right? Showcasing the merging worlds ethos of brands as they move seamlessly between the physical and the digital dimensions, like Boys Club Crypto is doing here. So I
Yeah.
thought that that was really interesting.
No, I love that. I love to see that that we got, just great placement next to the people that, that we want learning about Luxo. And I love their post that right there. That's like also talking about AI and blockchains coming together, being able to play and earn, formal verification becomes less formal. Like, yeah, all these great elements, like, that if you're in Luxo and you understand what has been built with the new creative economy, you understand that we're hitting on all of these points, right?
Yes, sir. That's 100% right. I love it, alts. Okay, so now we're gonna go to more in our fashion, art, music, entertainment segment here, and let's play a little good cop, bad cop. Okay, if you're in the ecosystem, you know people have been freaking out about not having their white paper from Maison Lux, like literally losing their goddamn minds about this thing. And I'm not going to say that they're wrong or right, right? I'm not going to place a value judgment on anybody's emotional state relative to any asset that they think they want or deserve or have purchased. Like that's outside the scope of this discussion. Instead, what I'm going to highlight here is this. What we're showing you is the last tweet from the social media account from Maison Lux. Notice the date, August 10th, 2023. That is the last time that anything has come out through official comms, right? That is social, like that is easily accessible that you could reference anyone to. So people are losing their minds, right? We go to this next tweet, and Marjorie is saying, hey, there's no disappearing, right? Because someone asked, did you just take payments for white papers and then disappear? Marjorie's like, no disappearing. There's printing delays, but it's all coming. Okay. We know also that there was an email put out in October saying, we ran into printing delays. It wasn't of the quality that we expected. We want to give you the highest quality white paper that meets our standards. Sorry for the inconvenience, but we're going to deliver it. Now, this is totally understandable. And as a project, like I appreciate that you have a standard and you're trying to live up to the deliverable that you sold people, right? You charge a certain amount of money. You want to make sure that they're getting what it is that you charge for, that you conceived of. What I think is inexcusable, alts, and I'll say it, why the hell have you spent 4 months not putting out a goddamn Twitter post that explains that to anyone? Because one Twitter post and now everyone can refer to that. You just put a screen cap of your email, right? And then all of this bullshit goes away. But if you don't do it, if you let people speculate, their minds are going to run wild and you're just going to have trouble. Okay, that's my bad cop. You got a good cop there. You're going to jump in, pile on.
No, I mean it's a valid point, right? Like we know that's just like this space is because there's always this dichotomy and this giant gap of information between a project and the community, right? So there's always anytime there's a bump in the road, which it might not be that big of a deal. Like we said in this case, they're taking the quality was the main focus, and I'm okay with that. Me personally, like take all the time you need. It's not a big deal to me. Even though I've purchased one, I understand, I would love to get it whenever, but like, I feel like there's more important things to focus on, you know what I mean? But like, to each their own, if that's really important to you, I understand, you might have issues with that. But that's just the thing is like, there's a lot of probably things happening behind the scenes that the community is just never privy to. But so that's kind of what we try to do is just help manage expectations across the board. Just so everyone can kind of enjoy the ride more. Right.
Yeah, I see it as a tripod. And if any one of the legs of the tripod gets knocked out, the whole thing falls over. Here are the three pieces of the tripod that I see: under promise, over deliver. I actually think Maison Lux is doing this, right?
Yeah.
They didn't like they want to over deliver on the expectation in their white paper. I actually like commend them. Good for you guys. Good for you for holding that standard. The third leg of the tripod is over communicate, and you haven't done this. And that's why you're suffering the absolute backlash from people's social media accounts that are losing their goddamn minds. And this is a lesson that we learn continuously in crypto. It's like every friggin' project struggles with thinking about this tripod from that like very important strategic kind of implementation mindset. And if you want to hire me just to come there and just yell that in your ear constantly, it won't be very expensive, right? I'd do it for a couple bucks, honestly. And I'll be the loud yeller in your ear. I will add nothing else to your team, but I will just say that repeatedly to protect your tripod, right? Like
But I mean,
under
you're not even
promise.
picking on Mason Licks here. That's just like crypto in general. Like that is pretty much every project, NFT, fashion, blockchain, doesn't matter. Like those three things, they typically fail at maintaining all three. And even the communication, you need to over communicate, which also means being articulate and being accurate, because that itself, which we see, a lot in our communities, that just creates a lot of turmoil if it's not properly vetted, right?
Don't leave room for speculation unless you want people to lose their goddamn minds, right? Like, say exactly what it is that you are doing and over communicate that. Under promise, over deliver, over communicate. Simple. It's 3 legs, man.
All right, well, let's head into the next tweet. We got one from NFT Daily. Shout out. What the F is Platies? Like Platies, it says up and coming project based around a series of drippy platypi. Yeah, going to be on the Luxo blockchain. Awesome founders, really cute art. I love the vibes. Dope community already brewing. And yeah, this is a great, really great feature. And I'm happy that they're building on Luxo.
Yeah, I'm really a big fan of the Platies team. And if they are listening to this, under promise, over deliver, over communicate. Free advice. Leave
Free
it there.
advice,
Just
yeah.
gonna let that
Just
thing
pregnant
air it out.
pause.
Yeah,
Free
just air
advice
it out.
echoing through the universe. All right, well, let's get into some speculation nation.
I love the super hot fire meme. If you've never seen that, please look it up. It is hilarious. All right. Dematerialized. A mysterious event unfolded in the DMAT cyber realm. Pixel perfect entities emerge in hidden corners of phygital realities with the spirit that binds the entire DMAT community together, inviting our OGs to unravel what's laying beneath the surface. Soon. TM. Give me your thoughts, Alts.
I don't know. I think something soon is dropping. Looks like that the date there is actually today. So maybe we get a little more information from this little alien guy next to this chain. But yeah, it's one of those things like all you can kind of really do is speculate what this is going to be. So there's been a lot of rumblings in the community trying to guess what this might be.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rumblings in the community guessing what this might be. So Marjorie, we know founder of Dematerialized, gives us a little more information.
Yeah,
Can
she
you
added a
feel
couple
it
emojis
coming?
there. Looks like the I don't know if that's a printer or I think it's a camera. And then the little magic ball there. Yeah, so trying to extrapolate what that means.
ET phone home or something like that. But
I like the chain.
alien
I like the chain. I know
phone
that. The chain is always one of the better ones.
loves chained predictions. I don't I honestly, this is unintelligible to me, but it feels interesting. Right?
Well,
So
CEO of Licks Marketing, he had a take on it. He says he can seize it in the emojis because they never tells him lies. He can feel the NFTs migrate. So he thinks this is about the NFT migration to be able to start utilizing those OG NFTs. And as Marjorie says, she speaks emoji better than English. So yeah, she's definitely a professional emoji expert. But yeah, so it could definitely be that. If that was the case, that would be cool. I know a lot of people have been super excited about that opportunity to be able to trade and get those universal profiles filled up with their OG NFTs.
oh, people are way excited about that. Like overly excited, chomping at the friggin' bit to trade those OG NFTs. So, in the theme of under promise, over deliver, over communicate, do you see how posting emojis is only going to lead to disappointment for someone like the CEO of Licks Marketing if it's not what he wants? Right? This is just a lesson for any project that's going to launch in Luxo. So this is not picking on anybody in particular. We're just using the projects that we called out today. One, because we love Luxo, we love Maison Lux, we love the dematerialized. Like this is not us being overly critical. Instead, we're using this to teach a lesson to every project founder out there that is looking to do something like this. When you leave room for people to speculate, hype is a double-edged sword. In the best of markets, yes, it will inflate prices and create this kind of buzz around your project. In a market where people are already stressed out, stretched thin, waiting for a very long time, if it's not exactly if the deliverable is not exactly what people thought it was going to be, the amount of bitching that you will suffer is not worth whatever hype you thought you were creating. That's all.
I mean, it's a really great time to reiterate this kind of approach, right? Because now that things are heating up on Luxo, like you're going to see more and more projects going live. So yeah, I think it's just really good to take these things in consideration if you have your own project and you're thinking about how to market it. Yeah, like you said, those three pillars is definitely the way to go, because then that way you create a different culture and a different value. I think a lot of this stuff is kind of leftover remnants from the hype cycle of, that's the strategy, is to hype things, right? So I think like, at least Luxo's approach is just different in general, right? We're more about sustainable, approaches. That way, everyone can come in and kind of build, and it's not necessarily these just giant hype cycles for price. No, we're trying to do more here and actually build a sustainable future that we can get involved with.
Sustainable growth. If we're not about pumping dumps on the token price, then hype is literally a pump. So let's not pump anything to start. And again, maybe I'm being too much of an idealist. Like I'll give that away, but I really believe after multiple cycles in this space, like under promise, over deliver, over communicate, and you will avoid so many issues. It like the worst injuries are the ones we actually we commit to ourselves, right? You shoot yourself in the foot like that. Just stop. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot in this ecosystem. Let's learn and let's be better.
For sure. Yeah, all of us. Okay, so well, let's move into a little bit of more learning in the visual style. All right, first up, we got one from Wolf of Luxo. Shout out, Wolf. The more everybody knows about all the aspects of the problems we face, the better all of us will be. He's got these cavemen. One of them's got the wheels, which is the universal profiles, the Luxo standards. Guys are just dragging square wheels in mad pain with the old standards. Like, nah, we're good. We're too busy. We don't know how to. We don't want to read. Like we're good. But that happens a lot in this space when you try to explain to people that are maxis on some other chain, or just oblivious, or just like don't want to take the time to learn because it takes too much time.
Sure. And it also speaks to first movers advantage, right? Like as people adopt the technology, to get them to switch is sometimes really difficult. So if in this case, you could take that as a negative, but I'm going to look out into the future and say that's actually a positive around what Luxo has built, because it's such a comprehensive solution to really the main problem of identity on chain, that even though people might invent other neat stuff, it's going to be very difficult to get them to adopt, right? It's going to be very difficult, let's say, to get the large block of users that will be in the Luxo ecosystem to move over and do something else afterwards, right? That first mover advantage is really powerful. And if you want one other take on that, universal profiles have been architected through, again, LSP 17 as that powerhouse. If you look at the LUKSO post or go to the KEEZ Common Ground to get a short little article on it in the feed, to be upgradable over time. So any innovation that someone else comes up with on the EVM, we just plug it right in, baby.
Yeah, we'll just take anything else you guys got. We'll take that too. If we want it. If we deem it good enough for the Luxo.
Like Vikings. All right. So our next one, we got, if you don't know what's up, you know. Interesting, Maximus. This is the classic Anakin and Padme theme meme. That is $100 licks is a good entry. And Padme says, you mean $10, right? And honestly, right now, if you think $10 is good, how about 7?
Yeah, we needed to add two more in the middle there. You mean 7?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, this one's funny. And it's all that perspective. It's like, it reminds me of that same one where it's like you have no one in the line at $7 to buy, but then there will be 10 million people at the line for $100, right? Like that's just the way it works, right? Because people don't put in that effort to read and learn. They just go off of, momentum, sentiment, hype, right? Like that's just it's all they know. But yeah, so that was a pretty funny representation of that. Next up, we got one from Maximus.Lix. Just a question of time. This is one from Inception. People should be able to use blockchain without knowing that they're using blockchain. Something more like a tool, something that looks like Web 2 UX. And then we got Fabi in there. Everybody will move to Luxo. And then DiCaprio's like, you know what? You're right. You are right.
If it was only that easy, just walk around. Everyone will move to Luxo. Yep, get them. You're right. All right, fair enough. I'll just
I think, yeah,
surrender my bags.
that's all you got to say, I guess, apparently. And you're good to go.
Okay, noted. Uh,
And yeah, go ahead.
no, 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 please.
I was just saying, yeah, last up we got one from Louis. Yaman would love this one. RIP 4337. Rest in peace. Because LSPs, they are gonna lead the way. We got a cute little gingerbread house there. I think that's at the headquarters there. I saw the team playing around. I saw Yaman actually dropping some salt on there for some reason. He was putting salt on his. It's weird. It's a weird flavor.
No, it's an enhancer in flavor. It is actually going to make it more intense.
It's true. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Really open up the pores so you can soak in more pink alpha.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so that brings us to the end of the show today. If you liked what you saw, then don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. On behalf of Alts, I would like to thank you for the support. And Rob would like to thank you as well, even though you haven't seen him. He has been pulling the strings behind the scene and is probably sweating bullets right now, wondering if we're going to finish before 2, which was the time he told us he needed to stop today.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be good. We're gonna get there. We got 3.5 more minutes to BS, which leaves me time to ask you a question, Eve.
Okay, hit me with it.
Why did the developer go broke?
He had bugs.
No, that's good, but no, because he used up all his cash.
That took me a second.
Yeah,
That took me a
it's
second.
quicker when you see it written out.
No, that was good. I like that one. I like that one.
But yeah, we definitely appreciate you, fam. Thank you for those of you who joined us live, and we'd love to see the chat going off. We saw the dilemma with Beef lost his PFP halfway through. We're glad to see he got it back. So, bullet dodge there. But yeah, we hope everyone's Friday's going great, and hope you have an amazing, wonderful weekend leading into this holiday season, fam. And do what you do best, and stay pink.